Hello, boys. I'm your boy Altinen, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about branding and content creation and a tiny bit of stream etiquette. So we're gonna do the stream etiquette part first. So this is literally stream etiquette 101. When it comes to creators and Twitter and stuff like that, um, please avoid making long Twitter threads. I know it might be tempting for people to make long Twitter threads, but at the end of the day, it's really annoying. It's it doesn't look good for any party that's participating in it, and it's just awful. Uh, okay, so I'm saying that because in recent events, if you followed along with like the recent Twitter drama, uh, someone bashed my content and my branding, and we're gonna call it branding just for the sake of it. So someone bashed my content and my branding based on me not even asking for advice or tips, based on like a tweet about something entirely different. Yeah. So, anyways, there was a lot of shit going on. There was a lot of people bashing my content and well, really criticizing and bashing my branding as well, um, which is not only really unprofessional, but also really damaging for like literally anyone participating. So for stream etiquette, the right way of dealing with that sort of like interaction is if you got to think about a few things. Does the person that you're reaching out or writing to, does the person seek advice or tips? If he does, are you gotta think about, is this person comfortable with make having it publicly in like a tweet thread, um and does he even ask for tips and advice publicly? In my case, I didn't write for ask for like advice at all, so I shouldn't have gotten any like, I shouldn't have had my content judged or criticized or whatever. um the right way to deal with it, if people would like actually was like, yeah, I'm gonna just bash it and criticize his content, or give him advice just for the sake of giving advice, even though I didn't ask, would probably be to reach out in like DMs, or be like, hey, got some advice. Yeah, so that would be the right course of action. And that's essentially stream etiquette 101. I just want to share that because every creator would be mad about literally the same event or the same happening to them. If someone would like really be criticizing you and bashing your content and branding without you even asking for advice, and they would like, yeah, I'm just giving you advice, bro. Uh, you as like the opposite person would be like, but I didn't even ask for advice or whatever. I'm not here to like get advice. Yeah. Anyways, we're just gonna dig in. We're just gonna jump to it. That's the roughly 5 minute intro. Anyways, all right, let's dig into it. We're gonna talk about my merch store first of all. So my merch store have a unique banner to display um, stuff that you can kind of like buy in the merch store, like t-shirts, mouse mats, mugs, and stuff. And that's number one. That's the banner, which is unique just to the merch store, uh, and it fits with like it fits with the branding in the sense of like it's related to the merch store, and it would be wrong for me to carry this banner over to all my other socials or whatnot. And it's entirely appropriate to have that sort of banner. There's nothing wrong with like the artwork itself. It's actually I think it's great, and I'm really happy about it. I also made it myself, um, exactly for the reason that my financial situation is trash at the moment, and at the end of the day, I'm not asking for any like sympathy or whatever. I'm just letting you know because I could say that, hey, I could technically hire an artist to make banners and do all like the initial artwork, but because of my financial situation at the moment, I can't afford that. So I need to find a way for me as a creator to make all of these things as cheap, and preferably make it for free on my own. Yeah, and that's what I did, and that's why it doesn't look as sort of like good or high quality or whatever you want to say, or if you even want to use the word intended to. It's not actually intended to, but the merge store isn't being updated because there's no new updates to actually give it. There's no new designs at the moment because I am in no position to actually afford new designs at the moment. And I have a few plans in the future where we might get some new designs uh, into the merge store. So that's the first thing. By the way, this video is gonna be really long, so be prepared. Sit down, get some popcorn or whatever. The second, the second number on like this picture is my profile picture, um, which consists with the initial branding itself and stuff like that. So I have the profile picture, which is like my emote, and I have my name, which Altinin, which is like the branding itself. Altinin is like the name of like the streams, the YouTube, and everything. And we're we're gonna go over everything. Trust me, we are. Anyways, then you have number 3, which is all the designs that you can order with like t-shirts, mugs, mouse mats, sweaters, or jumpers, or whatever you want to call it, sweatshirts, and phone cases, and art prints, and stickers, and stuff like that. Um, yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't look intended to at all. It's just the fact that there's no updates that needs to be made as of like currently, because there's no new designs coming out, and there's like no need to update the banner because it looks okay. It doesn't look bad. I didn't want to include all 4 of the designs on um in the banner, by the way, so I just want to make that clear as well. It was a conscious decision. So essentially every single choice that's been made is like a conscious decision about like this is what's going on. So now we're gonna jump into my Twitter, which is fairly, you know, I think it's good. Anyways, so we have the background, which I created myself because I couldn't afford an artist to make it for me, as well as it's a nice way of learning and experiencing, well, expanding your own skills and knowledge within essential skills that follows within creating content. Something I'm happy with, even though it hasn't changed for a long time. Now, I don't feel like you as a content creator need to consistently update your artwork or your profile picture. If you look at XQC, he's been having the same profile picture since how long? Uh, you know? And I think that if you keep changing all your art all the time, it's gonna confuse a lot of people, and it might just like make your branding inconsistent by just changing all your artwork on like different socials and streams and YouTube or whatever. If you're changing that regularly, or yeah, stuff like that. So that's why when I've done my artwork, I've kept it I've kept it the same on most platforms, and then I've done it differently on platforms that I want where I want it to be different, uh, which is conscious. So then it's number two, which is like the profile pictures. I've used one of my emotes. I've used several pictures in the past of my profile as my profile pictures. Uh, and when I rebranded, I wanted something that resembles the content I make, and that was connected to the name Altinin, which I'm Altinin, which is actually it is actually a water dragon, and it's something I used a lot of time researching. Actually, I researched Altinin a lot and the history of the name and stuff like that. It's actually the name of an ancient dragon. So I did a lot of researching into like different dragons and dragon names and stuff like that. So it's a name. So it's not a name I pulled out of my ass. It's actually a name from an ancient dragon way back in time. And because my last name Kilgara was also a dragon name. It was actually the name from like the TV show Merlin. That was named Kilgara. So I made a switch into Altinin because I was rebranding, and both was like dragons, and I wanted to have like that sort of like dragon to my content and my sort of like artwork and branding and that sort of like thing. So I started googling and researching dragons and dragon names and kind of like the history and stuff like that. So, anyways, moving on. The third one is the name and the bio. So I decided to open a merch store that could fund the future content I had planned. However, I'm terrible with marketing. Even after taking marketing lessons, that means I wasn't able to market the clothing. Uh, yeah, I wasn't able to market the clothing to reach anyone or get out there, but I still wanted to be accessible to my audience and while building and be accessible while building my audience. Um, so that's why it's like you know that's why the merch store is is there and stuff like that. And that's why it's in like the bio as well. That's why the merch store is like in the wlo link, which we're gonna get to all that later at some point anyways. Yeah. So then the bio, it explains in a very good way what I do. I will be a full-time content creator by the end of 2022, without any security whatsoever, no job, no income, um, because I want to give content creation um, everything I got without having any distractions. Um, I'm taking a huge risk by doing so, where everything is literally on me and my responsibility, um, and no one else. It's not a way for me to get sympathy from anyone. By the way, I just want to make that clear. Um, I then mentioned the various jobs in like the bio, uh, and the job descriptions of what I do. I have the merch store, which is why the clothing is in there. Content creator, which is literally what I do. And musician because I play drums and I make music. And I'm actually working on recording and releasing one of my own tunes right now. So and then it's a funny kind of like line that really goes into like my past in like content creation, which is a lot achieved, nothing recognized, which is connected to everything that I've done in the past, which I've done a lot and I've achieved a lot of like great, really good stuff, but nothing of that has really been recognized. So um, it's kind of that's why it's there because I think it's like a fun a good way to kind of like say that I've achieved a lot, um, but at the same time that people probably didn't wasn't aware of it. Uh, yeah, it explains all those descriptions of what I do, creating content, clothing, and and making music. Uh, in the end, the bio with a lot of achieved, nothing recognized, because I've done so much and achieved achieved many huge, great things, which may not re, which many may not realize I've done, as I never have gotten the recognition for doing these things. I'm not blaming anyone for this, but I have achieved many great things that most people probably do not realize I have done. And it's nothing wrong with that, and it's nothing wrong with the branding by mentioning it or by having that in the bio itself. Uh, I then have links to my social hub or my social hubs where people can access my other content and find every other aspect of my branding, while linking my Twitch where I'm marketing most of the content. No, not marketing, making. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, on Twitch where I'm making most of my content. Gosh, I'm rambling. I'm mixing words. So yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm mixing some words every now and then. Uh, I'm just trying to get through this as quickly as possible because it's gonna take ages. Um, then you have followers and following, where I never paid enough attention to my Twitter or worked on my interactions with others, and instead used my Twitter as a information hub where I could update my audience on everything happening with streams in my real life, and so on. Uh, and because of that, my Twitter never really grew that much at all. Uh, but when I started actually interacting more on Twitch and no, on Twitch, on Twitter, uh, when I started interacting more on Twitter, I have any, don't have any water left. Um, when I started interacting with more on like Twitter, and replying to people, and just keeping tabs on like what's going on Twitter and what's going on with other creators and so on, I've and I actually used some clever tags, and most of my followers are actually artists, uh, like artwork, like yeah, graphic designers and stuff like that. Actually, um, that's most of my following, which is really interesting. Um, but yeah, essentially, I was building a huge following over a month, uh, while doing that. So I'm gonna read what I have about that. When I grew my following, first when I consciously was present and interacted with other people, spending a huge amount of time of my day reading Twitter, replying where it was appropriate. Uh, our our Twitter, well, my Twitter grew just within a month during December to 20 plus followers on Twitter, just because of me simply interacting with others and being present. But for some reason, some people care so much about ratio and numbers that they criticize and drag other creators down based on numbers and ratio, which is highly toxic. Um, and no streamer should do this. No streamer should do that at all. And I'm not meaning it in a way where they're saying it or using it as a joke, but where they are being completely serious about it, where they actually are putting themselves above other creators just because they got a better number. Um, it doesn't matter if a creator have XYZ following or numbers. It's at the end of the day, it's the content that matters, and the type of content the creator is making. That's what matters in the end. Um, and that's my take and my opinion about it. You can survive on, yeah. You don't need like a huge number to like survive or be successful. And there's so many ways you can be successful as a content creator without being so attached to all those numbers. Uh, yeah, so that's the Twitter. So we're gonna move into the VLO link, which the background, which is number one, for me is dark because I'm using dark mode and an extension towards dark mode. Um, the background you might see is probably a rainbow colored thingy. If you click on like my VLO link after this or whatever. So that's because I use a free background. I was able to pick through the VLO link service. Um, I used a free version because I can't afford, and I don't have the cash flow to pay for a pro version or any fees that are attached with having a custom background at this point in time. So that's why there's a different background on the VLO link service than everywhere else. And that's why it's not like consistent with the VLO link service. Anyways, the profile picture is however consistent. It matches my Twitter branding, which I did on purpose to make everything look the same to some degree and keep the branding concise, if that makes any sense to you all. This is a short bio. Number three is a short bio once again with my VLO handle, which is there by default and can't be removed. The bio contains a list of some of the qualifications and skill you would find in a resume. So I'm a streamer, content creator. I have qualifications as a bartender. I have a bartending certificate. I'm a drummer and a musician because I play drums and I make music to some degree. um, So then you have number four, which is all the panels. These panels you can put in order. I'm not sure if you could put different colors to them. You probably can. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can, thinking about it. So, firstly, when I was setting up all these panels, I wanted to give people that put effort into visiting the link to support me if they wish to. So that's why that's the first button you can press on. Followed followed by that button, you go on where they could find my other content. My YouTube isn't there, and it's a reason for it. I'm gonna get to it later. Uh, Followed with the merch store as an advertisement, so they could easily find the merch. Um, button to my Reddit page and Discord. Reddit, this is created as soon as I could to give people an opportunity to join it and post memes and community related posts within my content. Uh, Discord, where I need some mods and people that are knowledgeable with setting up Discord bots, managing roles, and so on, because I don't possess the knowledge and find have found it really difficult to do that on my own. I've well, I also can't pay anyone to do this because, as I mentioned, I don't have the funds, which is not an excuse, and it's at the end of the day that's entirely on me, right? And at the bottom of the page, it's a few fast buttons, which with logos instead of full buttons that didn't make the screenshot, just redirecting you back to my Twitter and Twitch essentially. Yeah, so this is kind of like the social hub where that involves literally everything that's related to my content and what I do. Um, and it's there as a reason. Instead of me having a card with 50 links on, I can have a card with one link on, or I can have all of my content all gathered in one link instead of having 50 links that I'm literally just like writing down or sending to people, or kind of like, yeah, go ahead. This is all my sort of like, this is what I do. And then start linking my hover, TikTok, and YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, and stuff like that. It's a lot of links, and the VLO link is just a nice way of collecting all those links into one link that you can just send to people, and they could easily access whatever they need. Uh, that's the VLO link, and that's why it's been done like that. It's it's all planned through, and I know the support me button at the top can come across as like begging. I just want to make that clear. I'm not actually begging for any like donations or whatever uh, within my content at all. Um, yeah, that's not why it's at the top at all. Um, Streamers are making content, and I don't think people know really how difficult small streamers are really struggling when it comes to like all of these tiny things. So and again, streamers doesn't make any money on like the content itself. They're making money by the support they get, or um brand deals and stuff like that. So there's various there's different ways a content creator can make money and stuff like that. But it's just a nice way of letting the people that wants to support an opportunity to support. It doesn't mean that anyone have to support, but you know it's a nice way of like, hey, if you want to, you're free to, but you know, no one should feel the pressure of like having to. And it's just like, I think it's wrong saying using the word begging for money, because it's just wrong. Um, it's not like you're sitting on stream, give me money, give me money, give me money, right? It's not like that at all. Yeah. Anyways, we're moving on to my Twitch homepage. This is my Twitch homepage at a moment. We're gonna talk about my offline banners soon. So we have number one, which is the background, which is the same branding I got on Twitter. Same background or banner. Um, just to keep it consistent. The artwork in general is something I'm really proud and happy about, because I've done it myself and it doesn't look too bad. It actually looks quite decent, and it's relevant and related to my content and branding, and what the name, most importantly, like Alton in, which is like literally a drag. Anyways, then we have the number twos, which is the socials. You have Beat Alton in, and you have like tiny box with the three socials. So I have my social hub, which is linked. I have my TikTok and Twitter linked. Um, and this is interesting because you have also the short bio, which people can read in that one. Um, yeah, and that's about it. So we're gonna move on, and we're just gonna explain why it is. So first of all, it's only displaying two of the links and not my social hub, which is a shame, because it's just like that. It doesn't let you. It doesn't show you all three links necessarily. So what I could do is probably switch out my TikTok and social hub, and then my social hub and Twitter would be literally showing at the front page. But to me, it really doesn't matter because it's literally showing up in the about Altinin down below with number 4 later that we're gonna get to later on. So that's the number 2s, and then you have number 3, which this is an intro video which gets displayed when you are not live, where I spent 4 to 8 hours cutting and editing together a minute with my best clips to give an introduction to my streams. It's only 1 minute because I was making it for a platform called Hover, to then enter their next top streamer competition and use the video on my Hover page. But Hover lacks the ability to upload borderline 1 minute videos at the moment to their page and service, so I was unable to use the video or the highlight reel or whatever you want to call it along with Hover, and I decided to use it as a highlight promotional video across platforms. This is also a piece of work I'm really proud of, by the way, and yeah, we can well, it's actually on my Twitter, so just go to the media tab and scroll down a tiny bit, and so you can watch it, and it's I'm proud of it. It's something that I've spent a lot of hours on, um, and it's a lot of work put into it, but it's one heck of a minute. Moving on, you have number 4. This is the About Altinin. This contains the bio and just some basic stats. At the moment, I have 159 followers, which is all organic as to my knowledge. I have removed several bots over the years when this has been noticed. I reached affiliate status after a lot of work and dedication in the spring of 2020, and I had to restart from zero as I couldn't keep up with watching 50 different creators' streams, all all the time, every day, and it consumed so much of my time where I struggled to make and focus on my own content because of it. As well as it was hard combining uni, watching 50 streams a day, and do my own content. The bio is done like that for a reason as well. Um, that's because I've never had any benefits of having a bio, no matter what I wrote. So I've had a really descriptive bio as well, with like what I do and kind of like an introduction to kind of like my content or whatever. But it didn't really do anything. It didn't change any of like, yeah, you're gonna grow now. This works. This is great. So that's why my bio is literally who reads this, because like literally who reads the Twitter bio? I don't. So moving on, we got the Twitch about page. Um, so this is overall. I wanted to my panels to be short and with minimum text for aesthetic reasons, and to make it look clean and not cluttered, while all panels being easily accessible for my audience. The layout and order of the panels was really hard to manage with the 4-way layout and the three combined with the 3-way layout on the channel page. It was really difficult um, to put them in order, or yeah, put them in the right order with a massive long bio which was requested. So during the huge Twitter thread hate drama, there was someone that told me that I needed a about me section. So I thought I was gonna just really, if he wants a about me section, I'm gonna put in an about me section, and I'm gonna prove that I'm gonna prove why my about section is why it is, and that's because it ended up just being incredibly long, and I don't know who would take their time to read through um, such a long about me section. And that's why I've always tried to cut down on the about me section to make it more easily readable to make it more kind of like on point and stuff like that, and also just make it look pretty and for aesthetic reasons. So you have the first one, about me. I got attacked for not having a good about me section. I added a really long one to show how dumb and ridiculous it would be, or turn out to be if I were to fulfill the request, as if people are going to read something that something to get a grasp of who I am. There's just too much they need to know, and there's just so much history that I can't fit it in a about me section at all. Like literally. Then you have the donations. This goes to the Stream Elements donation page, which when I was writing it, it wasn't going. The name was different on like the tipping page, but now I've actually just fixed it, so now it adds up and it matches. Um, so I didn't know that the names was kind of like didn't match, um, because they did match when I logged in, and there wasn't any like issues there and then. I wasn't in the know about it, and that's on me, and that's no excuses. But yeah, apparently people got mad about there was like especially one guy being mad about it and kind of like pointing it out. So I mean, I fixed it. Uh, I fixed it. I didn't know about it, so that's why it was like that, because I didn't know about it. Uh, because none in my chat told me that, hey, this is wrong. So I couldn't do anything about it, and yeah. So then you have the social tab that goes directly to my wlo link that we have talked about. Then you have Reddit that sends them to my Reddit. It's not really need for any explanations to most of the panels, and it's nothing wrong or bad about the panels at all in general. It's just kind of like it's just how it is. It looks pretty, it looks aesthetic, it looks pleasing, and it looks professional. And that's kind of what I've been going for. Then you have the merch store, which sends them to the merch store. Panels are essentially advertisements and a way to show off content and other information and places people might be interested in visiting, or information around surrounding your content. And there's again nothing wrong with doing that, or you know, having just like panels with information to your audience that they might be interested in reading, or that would supplement to your content, essentially. So then you have Discord, which sends them to your Discord, or to my Discord in this case, where the Discord isn't completely finished. Um, I could remove the panel, but I want to give them an option to join the Discord if they wish. There's not too much activity or content on Discord at the moment, but it's essentially just there to keep in touch with the audience more directly, and later use Discord for community events and stuff like that. And then you have the chat rules, which is number 7. It's quite explanatory. Don't really have to, yeah, get too much into that one. Then you have the TikTok that lead my audience into TikTok, which I put together about a year ago for more exclusive content, which I will explain later on. And then you have the second about me second about section, which contains the end of the about me panel, which is number 1. And then the subscribe button that leads nowhere at the moment, and it's just there as a reminder for people that they can subscribe if they wish to. I used to have a list of perks, but I removed it due to aesthetics and layout reasons. while also keeping it rather simple. I could possibly remove the panel entirely, but I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna do that. So that's why there's no like changes on that panel, and that's why the panel is literally there. Number two is is the is the top donator. Uh, Wait, number two is, yeah, number three. Oh my gosh, I'm confusing myself. Number three is the top donators button. It's quite self-explanatory. It's a way I can give credits and show off the top donators and tippers and people that are supporting me. Sorry, my throat is quite dry, so I need water or something. Uh, Again, there's nothing wrong or bad with that panel or having that panel or panel being there. It's just a nice way to actually just do it all. Then you have like the merch store. I'm gonna just explain a tiny bit about the first picture that you saw about the merch store. I can't do anything about the merch store layout because I don't. First of all, I don't own the print on demand service or web page, and there's nothing wrong with this, and it has not been updated um, with designs because of financial reasons where I can't afford to hire an artist to make more emos for my Twitch that can be used along with merch, nor hire an artist specifically for merch or more designs or whatever. I made one of the designs on my own as well, which was an idea I got after having a conversation with some friends of mine. Yeah. So we're gonna move over to the Reddit. This number one is the banner that I made specifically for Reddit and on my own. I included the wlo link in the banner for obvious marketing reasons, so people could find my social hub in case they are new or you know obvious. It's quite obvious why it's there. It's nothing special. It's just it's there for a reason. Yeah. Anyways, then number two, which is a profile pictures. This is one of my emotes. I didn't want to use the same as I used on Twitter because I wanted Reddit to be different from everywhere else, which we've talked about this. Um, then number three, which is the first post. This is an appreciation post actually about how I grew my karma massively. Something I thought I would never be able to do. I'll be honest. I never thought I would reach the karma required to make a community, and currently I've actually almost doubled my karma. Since then. So then you have number four, which is the community rules, which I mean it's frankly quite obvious, isn't it? And then we're gonna move over to the TikTok. We're almost done now, by the way, which is cool. TikTok, which the username is connected to my old branding before doing a name change and reworking all the artwork during 2020. It wasn't possible to do a name change on TikTok at that time, so it never got done. And I never felt like I was using TikTok enough or consistently enough to be bothered in changing the profile picture. So I really didn't do anything about the profile picture. I could probably change the profile picture, but I don't see the point of doing that at the current time, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, because like I said, at the time, and I still don't even know if it's possible to, change name or rebrand my TikTok, but hopefully I can and stuff like that, and we'll see how it goes. You can see how many people have actually viewed my stuff and stuff like that. The most popular one was when I was making a sugar syrup, which was fairly impressive. I'm not gonna lie. And then you have a few bartending videos and TikToks, and then you have like a few funny one, which where I'm literally just eating. And then I'm throwing water in my face, and I have a few clips and a few like funny bug clips and similar. Uh, yeah. So yeah, then you have number two, which is again, it's just a bio that helps people who find me through the platform to access my content elsewhere. Somewhat. Um, I'm not sure what happened with adding a link to it, but yeah, that's how it turned out. Anyway, it gives the audience a pictures of what I'm about and skill sets, etc. There's a reason why it's not a link there. I can't remember what it was, but I most likely it was just not able to add any links when I was creating the TikTok, and I haven't been making any new TikToks since, so nothing have gotten like updated properly as they probably should. So yeah, that's currently the state of it, and it's yeah, we're gonna get to it as well, but we're gonna do the YouTube first. So you have YouTube number one, the banner made specifically for YouTube and exclusively, exclusively, it's made by myself. I wanted YouTube to also be different from all my other branding, and this is entirely on purpose. The profile, which is number two again, um, is one of my emotes made by a professional artist. I gotta just make that clear. With the name being consistent with all the other branding, with Altin in, which, you know, yeah. And then you have number three, the video section, which the video are meh. It, I think my videos are interesting, cool, and educational, and that's what my sort of like YouTube is like all about. Um, the reason I'm saying it's meh is because it may be hated or not liked by many people, and that's why it's not being advertised or connected with the rest of the branding. Um, yeah, I think the videos are great, and then as well as possible with the equipment available, due to financial difficulties. Again, my problem, no one else's, and entirely my responsibility. The new show, the celebrity show, may be massively hated or liked. It's literally a 50-50. I've had people tell me they found it funny. However, the YouTube channel isn't permanent, and nothing of the YouTube channel itself will be like it is currently due to future content plans. Yeah, that's about covers. Um, that's about covers. That's my my YouTube thingy. So yeah, we're gonna really get back to it. Uh, we're gonna really get back to it, and yeah, we're gonna see. So I'm just gonna do this really quick, and hopefully it works. Bada bim, bada